Play because he was preaching something. But the big thing is, like, everything he just said, like, when you have the right to your own representation and you can represent yourself, that's the thing. You know, it was even getting to the point where I started to even say, you know what, let me see if I can find a way to get a law book and buckle down and get this. Because when you in jail, I was in Cuyahoga County jail for almost a year. I was in there for 11 months fighting this case. And, you know, with me being in Cuyahoga County jail, not only did they take the law library out of the jail, but they make resources very limited to you. So it's harder to make a phone call now. They record your phone conversations because they technically want to be able to use that in court against you.
So there's no law library in the court. In Cuyahoga County, there's no law library. Mm-hmm. Do you have internet access?
No. And they okay, here, I don't want to lie. They got internet access, but the internet access that you're supposed to be able to use is something totally separate. Like, you only have 10 pages that you can use, and you can only do it on these days, and you can only do it here, and you can only do it during these times. And one of the rules, I think, was you can only do this if you represent yourself, or if you got this type of case.
So they don't need the resources. So it's back to what you guys are both saying, that it's all part of the game. It's all part of the game to keep you in there.
Exactly. And then if I can't go and I can't research this information myself, then that means that I don't have the proper things to push the buttons of my lawyer to get my lawyer to know, hey, I'm not part of the game. You got to get there and get moving.
And so the system becomes rigged against you, right?
It's rigged against you from the beginning, because if it wasn't rigged against you, it wouldn't be a situation where you would be guilty until you prove your innocence. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But what's the point of locking a person up if they are innocent until proven guilty? When they're guilty, you lock them up. Not when they're listen, you can be accused of anything. I can accuse you of stealing something out of my pocket right now, but I have no evidence that did it. A judge, a prosecutor, whoever it is, they can't tell you what happened because they were not there. They have no first-hand knowledge of a crime.
So they have to grab all the evidence for everybody.
They have to grab evidence, and they have to try to paint a picture.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I mean,
go ahead.
You know, there's a popular misconception about most black people being in jail, when in actuality most black people are in college with nice jobs, you know. And I just felt like I had to, you know, put that out there, because you know, a lot of people are out there. I know people who are watching this are also thinking like, oh dang, black people are always in jail, black people are always in jail.
How many white people did you see in there? How many white people did you see in there though?
It was a lot of white people were in there.
All right,
a lot of white people, just as many white people as Mexicans, as black people.
Okay, so it's the same. I want to stay where you're at, because one of the things that
I want to throw out a fact real quick.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Throw out this fact real quick. Now, going off of what he just said, now listen, I'm gonna tell you flat out, and we're gonna I'm gonna dig in there with you. You know, black people are considered a minority. Puerto Rican people are considered a minority. So if you put 20% of white people in jail, but then you put 40% of black people in jail, that number is going to be misconstrued. Because why? Because that 20% of white people, they make over 170 million of the population, while we make 40. So you put 50% of that 40 in there, and then you put 25% of that. I mean, look at the numbers. So that's why when Black Lives Matter, when they say police brutality, this is my favorite thing to argue with people. When a person jumps on a status, or a person jumps up and they say, oh, well, did you notice that the white people get killed? I said, well, you outnumbered me 4-1. So of course that is going to be in that way. But the problem is, when you kill a black person, or when you incarcerate a black person, you are incarcerating a minority. So the numbers are always going to be spiked.
Well, the FBI, there's no mandate for police to keep.
About the passion.
There's no, so just so you guys know, there is no mandate for the federal government to keep police, people that died or brutalized by police. There's no mandate. The states are separate. They can do anything they want. There's no mandate for them to keep those records. So there is no official record. They can estimate of what happened, what was reported. There's no mandate for them to report. So just so you know, so in fighting your case, you remember that you've done that stuff. So one thing I'm gonna tell you is, I lost a nephew in county, and my nephew had a diabetic shock. We didn't even know he had. We didn't even know he had diabetes. Really, not us. And when he went and had some problems, he went to the infirmary, and when he got out of it, he collapsed right outside of it. And it's quite ironic because one of the famous stars here also died
In Cuyahoga County.
in Cuyahoga County. So when you say they have no resources, I want to stay there for a minute, because if I say to you, do you agree? So would you say that actually the Cuyahoga County may be the problem as opposed to overall judicial problem, or that's just systematic? Go ahead, Ken.
I would say initially it's an overall problem. It's an overall judicial problem all the way across the board. But when you're talking about the county jail is filthy. You don't get nothing to eat. They give you, especially being a young man under 25, you in your cell throughout the day. You will be in your cell for 4 days straight.
4 days straight. Explain what the floor looks like in the county jail.
It's dusty. You gotta clean it up. They make y'all clean it up, and then you just there's no structure. You know what I mean? And then like they're just so violent. You know the SRT unit, they're just so violent though, and they just go overboard. But that's in a lot of jails.
Yeah. So if I told you that the toilets, what about the food? Let's talk about the food. A lot of people complain about jail food, but do you think it's really worse, right?
Then we got this meat. It's called sweat meat. They call it sweat meat.
What the hell is sweat meat?
They take the bottom of the barrel meat and put it in the oven and put it in the freezer, and the meat sweat. Like it literally sweats, like you'll sweat from your skin.
Yeah.
It sweats.
Yeah. So it's torture. It's back to so you have no resources to beat your cases. So you really become a bottomless citizen. So now they feeding you below that, right? Your living arrangements is bad. How do you stay?
It says on the box, not for human consumption. Just so
box.
y'all know. On the box, that's what it says. Not for human consumption. So go ahead. I'm gonna let you.
No, go ahead. So now talk about that.
But
Go
see, here's the thing. You know, even with Cuyahoga County, first of all, it's actually a regulation that you're not supposed to sleep on the floor. It's supposed to be one-man cells, but it's actually sections of the jail where it's two-man cells.
It's overfilled.
So it's overpopulated.
That's almost every cell.
So you go to the next part of it. You know, just to highlight one big thing about Cuyahoga County. Cuyahoga County is meant to break you. It's not meant to do anything else. The county is not meant to house you and clothe you and stuff like that. It's meant to break you. Because when you go to a parent prison, it's not the same.
No, I gotta say that's the county jail is worse than a lot of prisons.
Because you've been to
in Ohio, but I gotta say you don't know being broken in until you do a year in the hole, do 7 months to a year in the hole. That
You're
right
referring
there.
in Cuyahoga County, or you're referring just
not in Cuyahoga County. I'm talking about 23 and 1. You don't come out your cell to get the trays or nothing. They put the tray through your little chute. Your shower's in your room, and so is your bathroom. You don't leave the cell. You get your hour a rec every day, but you only come out of the cell when they say you can. So they might come in early and be like, yeah, you want rec 7 in the morning. You sleep. You like, no, I don't want rec, but you in the cell for 24 hours that day.
So that's pretty sad. I'm having a hard time even hearing that. So you're already saying that the county jail is just a bad place. I can't even imagine somebody put you in a worse place than that. You say it's worse than that when you go in the hole.
It's the hole in the county jail. You can only be in the hole for a certain amount of days.
They changed that.
Well,
it's people in there. It's people one dude was in the hole for 45 days. I know one came out in 90 days.
You can get tickets in the hole too. You definitely get longer time for getting tickets in the hole.
Do you think that most people know the stuff you guys are saying right now? Because apparently, so most people don't know it.
But it's not the thing. The thing people don't understand about jail isn't a place. When you get sent to jail isn't a place you're about to go be problem free. You're about to go avoid confrontation. And you're about to go. It's about to go change your life. No, jail is a place where you're about to go have to fight, or you gonna.
And they know about it.
You're gonna hate your life.
Okay.
And you know they supposed to say jail change you. A lot of people become used to it though. You know what I mean? I gotta say, like I did 7 months in the hole before this happened to me. I just got out January 18th. This happened to me April 23rd. So like my last 2 years was something else.
Has it changed? So it is back to our original conversation with the judicial system.
Yeah.
The whole system is broken. What do you think about people that say we just need to make minor changes to it? Are they right? Or are there major changes?
There are major changes that need to be made to prison, state penitentiary in the whole, and Cuyahoga County Penitentiary by itself needs God, needs Jesus.
Because it's that bad.
It's terrible.
What would be the first thing, if you had the authority to do something about it, but both of you, what would be the first thing you changed that would make the biggest impact if you had to change things to do it?
Everything. There's no one thing about jail that you're gonna want to change. Like you could be like, oh,
If you had to pick one,
you could get into.
I can pick one.
If you had
Let's say
Okay.
for instance, it was some innocent thing you may have done, and you go to jail. You know, you didn't do anything for real, but you go to jail, and you think you about to come out the same. That's not what's about to happen. You're not about to come out a better person. You know what I mean?
Because that one day will be a
It's all negativity. You can't just go get on the phone like people think. You can't. You can't just go pick up the phone and call
Both
somebody.
of you guys said that. So okay, I'm like screwed up. 'Cause I
Yeah.
thought you have the ability to make a phone call at a
No.
certain time. What's going on with that?
If you
According to
on
the
something
state,
if you on something called red zone, you can't come out your cell until there's somebody available.
How do you get on red
Well,
zone?
That's when the
I think-
employees
I
don't
think-
show up to work.
I think what you're confusing is the county jail and state penitentiary.
Okay.
And the county jail is different than state penitentiary.
Okay. So explain to me what the procedures are to make a simple phone call.
To
in
make a
county
phone
jail.
call at state penitentiary, you're out of your cell all day. But you got everybody. There's so many gangs in jail. All right, these 3 phones right here are harmless felon phones. These 4 phones right here are GD phones. And these 2 phones right here are blood phones.
And the officials
You're
are.
an innocent bystander. They can't do nothing about it. What they gonna do? Make the jail riot?
Okay. So county jails, how different from
County jail, you don't deal with as many people, or you don't deal with people on there as angry.
So if you got to make a phone call because something happened in the prison, somebody did something to you, maybe a guard. How easy is it for you to get that message out over the phone?
It's gonna be very hard to do that
Why?
because you're going to the hole if that happens. And you're not gonna get your phone call. So
Until
it's
afterwards.
not gonna be a phone call.
So in other words, you don't say anything.
If you go to the hole in the county jail, they don't let you use the phone at all. But if you go to the hole in state penitentiary, you have to get off of the regular segregation is what it's called. Then you gotta go see the lieutenant. Then he tells you whether you can use the phone or not. And then you use the phone every 30 days. Once every 30 days.
So it is just like you said. So it's actually a strategic thing to keep everybody quiet. It's like they always complain about no snitching, but I think maybe they're actually better at it than maybe even some of the street gangs, right?
Mhm.
Because they be able to. So if you get in trouble in jail, you can't even call out and tell them you're in trouble, right?
I mean,
By the time
eventually
you
you'll be able
get
to do-
ready to say something, you probably be like, damn near forgot about it.
Or-
Or you damn near just don't even care no more. Because it's like, you said 30 days. 30 days, and 30 days from now, if you hit me in the eye, 30 days from now, I'm kind of not, my eye healed. So is my pride by
It's not
then.
even gonna be anything written about it. They could be like, "Oh, you refused to
failed.
do this, and you just got
failed.
beat up." Oh well.
Yeah.
They're gonna
So,
be like, oh,
so
well.
the COs let this stuff happen. So if I say to you this, that they are trained to, you said something earlier about protect and serve, and that's actually what the duty should be of the COs. You think, right? And let's talk about a CO. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the COs. But I know you smiling. Let's talk about the people that's in charge of taking care of the jail of prisoners.
Okay, I'm gonna make some people mad when I say this.
You got to say it because we don't.
Oh,
do that
I don't
on
care.
here, bro.
I don't care. I don't care. I mean,
Just
that's
make
what
sure
we-
you're telling the truth. 'cause-
Yeah, no. You got COs, or we're gonna say correction officers, who are cool. You got a few of them, that's cool. Ones that don't take it serious, and ones that cool. Then you got ones who like to have authority over grown men. They just get a hard on from it. But then you got them ones who could make it in the police academy, who could make it doing this, that did a couple years in the military, and they think they can run the show like this is a ROTC program.
Okay.
Them is the ones I got a problem with.
Demeaning.
Yes. Very, make sure your beds is made this way. If it's not made this way, then you can't come out, and then they lock you up. You know,
That right?
In the county jail, yeah.
and I can't speak on you know what I'm saying, going to a Merritt prison or anything like that because I've never been. But the point is, from just the county jail experience by itself, they say the county jail is what, like they say, like close to maximum security when it comes down to it. It's close. It's not maximum.
You don't get any fresh air.
Yeah, no fresh air, so that's almost damn near like maximum.
So they don't let you out. You don't get to walk around into
outside.
Yeah, no outside. But to say that, you know what I'm saying? It's the biggest thing that I want to highlight about the CO is it's really a regular person like me and you, who in so many words is not a police officer, but they just step under. You know how they make the jokes almost in Friday about the whistles and the flashlights? That's almost like what a correctional officer is. So, in so many words, some of them are cool, some of them take things very, 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 very serious, and some of them are just overdo it.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do about it, because then after that, they hit the man down button that they have in the county, and then they seeing 15 dudes in there, and they all swarm on you and swing them. But it's only maybe 5 or 6 COs who can handle their own.
I remember I got sent to the hole for grabbing the apple from somebody that I knew. And then dude, he pressed the button on me and they just came up there. I didn't get, nothing happened, but like they dragged me and all my stuff was falling.
They dragged you.
Yeah.
Dragged you on the floor for an apple.
Down the stairs.
Down the stairs for an apple. With cameras around.
No. What cameras?
What camera?
They go back and they can actually do something to the footage of the actual cameras anyway. See,
there aren't any cameras.
There aren't any cameras.
There are cameras in the hallway. But
I was on a situation where they actually started to change that. They started to put cameras in. But here's the thing: when they put the cameras in so it's able to see and be an extra actual correction officer when it comes down to it.
So it's evidence.
So it's more evidence in what's going on.
So there are some people who say, if you weren't in jail, you would experience this.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that, right? So if somebody robbed you out here, right, and they got caught, you'd be saying the same thing about them. I hope whatever happened to you. But is that a good way to look at it? What do you think about people who say that? What do you think? What do you want them to think, carry away with that when they say things like that? Because that's ultimately it's got to change.
You don't wish that on anybody, but that then becomes a bigger issue for me and me personally myself, because it's just like you say, you know, people deserve certain things. I mean, I think solitary confinement is not something for any human necessarily, but everything in life, it's a lot of things in life that's not for us. But sometimes people need that to refocus. You know, if you can't refocus, if you can't take a negative and turn it into a positive, everybody can take a positive and turn it into a negative, but then flip it the other way. So that time that you spent there, take that time and say, you know what could I have done differently? What maybe it's a self-evaluation process if you use it that way.
But do you think that's fair? Because Ken said earlier that it's not a rehabilitation place, basically, right?
It's not, because you either I don't mean to be too blunt about it, but you either go to jail and become gay, or you go to jail and become a better criminal.
There is no ability to rehabilitate you. You think?
You do become smarter in jail. You become a better criminal, but you do become smarter. Some people leave it alone. I gotta say that, but that's when you get time like 27 years and stuff like that. You know, but you still got people. Like a friend of mine, he just got 27 years, and he did a year, came home, and went back to jail. So like he hadn't even been out a year.
So if I take 5 people, and they all go to jail,
one of them might come home and be like, "Nah," you know what I mean?
Do you think the jail creates that?
Being away, in the sense of being away from your family and being told what to do, when to do it. And having to bear that all in itself.
Well, that's part of punishment, though, right? Let me just be fair. That's part of punishment. But what about? Do you think that? Go ahead, Jerry.
That's the only part.
Say something. What are you gonna say? Jerry got something to say.
Jail is such a hostile territory.
Okay, all right.
You know, it's just.
It's worse.
I gotta say, like, when I was in jail, not to be like, you know, politically correct or
you don't have to be politically correct here, brother.
It's just
let's go.
It's just, you know, all I wanted to do was fight, because I'm in jail. I just looked at it like, oh, what you gonna do? Send me to jail? I'm in jail. I'm gonna be here till I get out. You gonna send me to jail? You know what I mean?
Okay. So it turns into
a lot of people look at it like that.
All right. Jeremy, what do you say? Or what Ken say?
I think, okay, I don't got nothing against what he said. I mean, there's some people who think like that. When I was in there, I used to say this saying to people. I see everybody want to step in the cell and fight, but don't nobody want to fight their case. You will fight me, but you won't fight them. I'm not a threat to you. They trying to take your life. I'm just trying to maintain my little lavish lifestyle, supposedly, that I'm living here. So at the end of the day, I think more or less, every situation is what you make it. If you allow jail to break you, then it will break you.
But is jail supposed to break you, or does
it's designed to
jail
break
is meant to make money.
Designed.
Jail is meant to grease hands. Jail is to,
whose hands?
to control the
Whose hands getting
population.
greased?
Politicians.
Politicians.
This all goes back to the judicial system as a whole. Because I gotta say, like, if you went to jail for one day, and you looked at what happened, you'd be like, dang, man. But I gotta say, like, you got, alright, for instance, you have your people that go to jail and are thugs, and they go to jail and they figure, oh, I ain't about to talk to nobody. Oh, I'm gonna be over here and I'm gonna do me. No, you're not.
Why you say that?
Because you're about to get picked on. Somebody about to come over here and pull your card and see what you about.
And the COs and all of the officials do nothing.
What they gonna do? You in jail.
I mean, but what
The
if
CO's not about to risk getting himself into a situation or an altercation when it has nothing to do with him. You're in jail. You're an inmate. So if he sees y'all fighting, yes, he has to, but not all of them do.
They do anything. So
I gotta say, like, I've got into a few fights and didn't go to the hole and was right in front of the CO.
So they like the animalistic thing. They just they fighting, then they stay out of it.
That was, yeah,
Some of them aren't like that. Some of them will get in there with you.
Yeah, but a lot of them are looking at it like, oh well, don't send them to the hole too as well. But it's just people's outlook on it.
So what do you want to say to any candidate right now? Any candidate, don't matter whether we got.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah. So what do you want to say to anybody? Say for instance, we were organizing a forum. I'm gonna be interviewing some people that I think that has some power to make some changes. They want to make some changes too.
Yes.
What would you want them to say? It's on tape. What would you want them to understand about why the judicial system needs to change right away and not just one part, everything? If you had one moment, what would you say? Think about that. You got something you say?
Okay.
Think about it, Ken.
Judicial system needs to be changed in I'm gonna say just two major ways. First thing is, it has to be more resources for people to reach out and find this information. If I don't know something, I can't do what I don't know. So if I don't know how to fight this, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to beat this. See, the deeper you dig, the more filth you find. So
explain that.
So for example, let's say if you dig in deep trying to find a good lawyer, when you dig, the deeper you dig into some of these cases and some of the case files in general, once you learn how to look up a case file, you start looking into the depth of it. So what kind of case is this? Who is the judge? Who is the lawyer? What connection do this lawyer and this judge have?
Well, how do you find that out though?
Because you can, every case you can go and look up the case files.
Okay.
And see, some judges were prosecuting attorneys. Some judges were defense, lawyers.
Okay.
So if this judge can have a connection with your actual defense attorney, or that judge, like in my case, could be a prosecutor, so they have ties to the prosecution. So if the prosecutor and the judge are on good terms, you might be in the middle of your trial or in your case somewhere where the judge and the prosecutor are tight and they passing each other information the judge is not supposed to know about your case. Or the judge becomes one-sided and they side automatically with the opposition of whoever it is. So it'll be good if my defense attorney and the judge is cool because they were both defense attorneys.
You have to find out once you get the lawyer.
But you have to find that out. But you can go and you can look at when they're elected a judge, it tells you what they were before that.
Well, my question was, what would you say to a person, because you both want the changes, right? Mm-hmm. But part of the problem we have in this country is we have no unified voice, first. Second, we have no start. Where do we start based on people that's been through it? Where do we start?
From first place, I'm telling you, is you got to start with the mediator. That's what the judge's job is to do, is to mediate.
Okay.
If you start with the judicial part of the branch, which is the mediation part, if the mediator is already impartial, you already are at a disadvantage or an advantage, depending on which side you're at.
You like that mandated?
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of like the middleman, though.
What would you say, Ken?
You still not touching the root of the issue. You still not touching what's going on.
I don't know, but you ain't telling me.
Inside of prison, though, you know what I mean?
Let's talk about that.
just the screening. I mean, I don't think that there's really too much you can do, because jail isn't meant to be a place where
I'm gonna let y'all go tonight.
it's not meant to be a place where you enjoy yourself. But I feel like, you know.
But wait. You say, I know it's not supposed to be, we all agree that it's punishment. Okay, but I think that what I'm trying to get you to do is we are saying, you know, based on what you guys are saying, that there changes need to be made, and there changes can be made. You're saying that there's no changes that can be made?
I'm not saying that there aren't any changes that can be made, but I mean, you have to brainstorm and come up with different ideas of what to do and try. Because I can't say any one thing that's going to change it.
Okay.
So what's the root of the problem? I want to hear what is root of the problem.
What do you think?
There is no one root of the problem. There's so many different problems.
Yeah, he said it's all. He said all.
You can't just boil it down to one specific thing.
Mm-hmm. You said all. You said all. And that's why I vexed you what you're saying, and I get that. And I was trying to ham you in on one point, but you actually said the same thing in the beginning earlier. That is no one thing. You got to change everything, right? And why do you think it's just one?
I don't think it's just one. I think it's
a
couple of
things.
things. Well, see, the thing about it is, you go with what you can change first.
Okay.
I can't dig into the prison system and say, okay, we're gonna change how you house gangs, because half the time people don't go to jail in a gang; they come out of jail in a gang.
Okay. Right.
So you can't go and say, I'm about to house all heartless felons over here. I'm gonna house all GDs over here. You can't do that.
Right.
So the whole thing I'm trying to highlight here is, you start from what you can control. See, what every person does is they go and they try to go somewhere where they don't even have a jurisdiction, because they haven't even got the simple thing first. Okay. The small thing will eventually lead up to the bigger things. Okay. Because believe it or not, halfway houses, judges get paid from halfway houses too. So a judge might be more be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give this young man a chance. I'm gonna send him to this halfway house, because that comes back to their pocket. So once again, the judge is impartial in some way, shape, or form.
And that's what he said earlier. So, I mean, really, for me, you know, the age I haven't had a problem at all. But so it's kind of odd. It's almost like you're saying that there's prisons in every state. You know, we know that. Now you're saying he's saying there's no hope for change. There is no hope for change. It's all political. It's all about money. And no matter what the politicians say,
people need to wake up and open their eyes and see reality for what it actually is. You know, a lot of people are oblivious to what's really going on in this world. And I don't feel like for instance, we're about to have a new president very soon.
Yeah. And
I've talked to a lot of people, most African American people. I voted for Hillary Clinton. Mm-hmm. But then I've spoken to some people who are actually Republicans, and I've heard some of the dumbest things though, and it scares me, because you don't really know what a president. So you want to be president, what is your hidden agenda?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you said, so you feel that way about everything. I think we were talking earlier, is we all ask what the purpose. Do everybody know what the purpose is? Nobody knows what their purpose is. And you saw the police officers, and earlier you said to me, you said, what does he really do? And so that's what you're saying. What do you really do? Why am I even putting faith in you? And you, that's what you said to me earlier.
I said that to you.
What do you really do?
What does a police officer really do? What does a politician really do? Why is it that why does he get paid this, but then this person doesn't get paid this? You can ask a lot of those questions. But I'm going to highlight a point that he just made really quick, and I'm going to dive into that this way. You know, when people are oblivious to different things, they're not oblivious because they choose to be. They're oblivious because they just don't understand. They don't get it. They're ignorant. And ignorance is not an excuse, but ignorance is almost the same thing as pretty much saying, I don't know something, so I'm going to go off of what I heard, hearsay. Right. So, okay, we're going to go and we're going to say, for example, the president. People don't know Hillary is just as corrupt as Donald Trump. People don't know Hillary has said different things about how black people's temperaments are. People don't know anything. But you ask a person why they vote for Hillary Clinton, and you know the first thing you hear is, I just don't want Trump in office. But wait, Trump is actually highlighting true facts. Now that doesn't mean he's a better candidate. That just means he's not your typical politician. So that makes him a little bit more tolerable when you listen to him. because he's not being political. He's attacking other people and other people's pockets because he got the money to tell you to shut up.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
necessary evil for people to see, so they see, hey, I've never heard a debate quite like this. But people hear it and they say, oh, he didn't answer the question. I said, but he highlighted something else that you didn't know about.
Right. You don't think people want to know the truth, and I think that what Ken was saying too was all of it's corrupt.
Yeah, every last
All
piece
of
of
it's
it.
corrupt.
Every last piece of
They
it.
don't have a purpose other than to make money,
And
right?
the parties.
And so what's your rule is? I'm sorry, go ahead. What you gonna say?
Real quick, just the parties. The parties is the red and the blue party. Why was the Republican Party the first party? Because it was the one that designed always to win. Then the blue party was the Democrats. That was the party that was supposed to be for the minorities. So which party is for you?
Which
When
party's
in
gonna take care
actuality, there is no party that's for you.
Okay.
When it's really just the average American probably will want to be a liberal Republican. They wouldn't want to be just a Republican. They would want to much rather be a liberal Republican. So if you don't understand what politics mean to every situation, how do you expect to ever have any adequate knowledge of what candidate is better for the country?
Well, what we're going down to is, because we close the show out. First of all, I want to thank both of you guys for coming in and sharing, because to be honest with you, I couldn't have told the stories you told. If I would have told this story, I would have had to embellish on things because I would have had no idea what you're experiencing. There's simple things, and as we do that, I'm going to have you guys come back, and I'm going to have some follow-up questions for you about it, because I want to wait till your cases finish adjudicated, and I want to make sure everybody's clear, because folks are so raunchy now that they'll look at the video and try to get you, and you be sitting up in court looking at this video going, God, dog, I shouldn't have said that. So I won't do that to you. We're going to make sure that don't happen. But what do you say? I want you to say something since you've already, your case is done, right? What could you say to Ken as he is trying to close out the case he has?
Only thing I can say is fight. Make sure that your lawyer make sure your lawyer is really fighting for you. When it comes down to it, the biggest thing I'll say is you want a lawyer who take their oath seriously. I happen to have a lady who told me flat out, like, I take my oath seriously. It's only one way to fight a case, and that's 100% pedal to the floor. We gonna do this. I'm gonna cross-examine everything that they put up there, and I'm gonna make all of them look like liars. That is the type of lawyer, that's the type of thing you want from a lawyer. Somebody who don't want to lose. And the lawyers who don't lose, they don't lose because they paying money. They lose because they just good at what they do.
Right.
So that's all I was
What
saying.
do you want to say? Take time to think about it if you need to. What do you want to say?
I'd like to take this time out to promote my upcoming book. It's called The World Is Mine. And, it's basically going to be a depiction of, some things in it are going to be a little surreal. But,
The world is mine.
yeah, it's basically depicting my life and style of life that I live.
We're going to make that happen.
Yeah.
We're going to make that happen.
Coming
because-
soon.
Coming soon. The world is mine.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. If you think of anything else you want to say, because we're always open for anything you want to say, because you're going to go home and think about some stuff.
We gotta do one about police officers, because that's what we thought we was gonna talk about. That
No,
but
we
got
went
to the
down this
system.
jail thing, and I think that it covers a lot of things. So when you come back, we're going to talk about police officers. We're going to talk about, we're going to keep the conversation of because police officers are the first one that makes the thing happen. And what can they do to
You
change
gotta
things?
dig down deep into the origin of where a police officer came from, because people don't know. Just a little cliffhanger, just to get people to research. Police officers started from the actual KKK. Just so y'all know. So start digging down and start digging. So just know that when I come back next time, I'm gonna rock y'all to sleep with some of this knowledge.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. This has been another episode of EB's Real Talk. Real Talk. And here we learned some things today that most of you would never get to know. So the next time you know someone going to jail, remember what these two brothers have just told you today. And that's from their mouth. And you can't doubt it. We went down the rabbit hole. This is EB's Real Talk. See you next time. Hey there, brothers and sisters. This is EB Smith. Real Talk is me helping you by giving you information I know you will be inspired to be a greater you. And with a greater you, our communities are better and our world is better. But I want to reach more people. To do that, I need your help. Will you subscribe and share my videos? Tell everyone what we're talking about here on Real Talk. Another way to partner with me, donate $1. That's donating just $1. Go to PayPal and send ebsrealtalk@gmail.com. Go to PayPal, donate $1, send ebsrealtalk@gmail.com. Since we don't like the world we live in, let's change it together. Thank you. Writing a book can be daunting, but once you get past the daunting, there's always the cost of getting it published. And many times that usually holds people up from doing it. Uptown Publishing is offering supporters of EB's Real Talk a wonderful opportunity to have their books published for only $250. That's 75% of the regular standard publishing package price. You supply the book cover art, a synopsis of your book, and your pre-edited manuscript, and here's what you'll get: 100% control of your book, 100% profits from your book, and your own dashboard. That's $250, which is 75% of a regular standard price. 100% of control of your book, 100% of profits. If you're interested in it, go to uptownmediaventures.com. Go to uptownmediaventures.com and go to the Contact Us page and put in EB's Real Talk. Or mention EB's Real Talk via email at uptownliterary@gmail.com. That's uptownliterary@gmail.com. Congratulations to all of you to your future as an author.